Heading into our very first matchup of the WardiTV Christmas Day Games 2023. You're gonna have to forgive me if I stumble over myself, by the way. I've been ill and I haven't casted in a little while, so I'm a little bit out of practice, but, you know, we gotta cast these games at some point. I've been putting them off to try and feel as good as possible, but that only works for so long. So hopefully we get into it a little bit as we keep on casting. In the top right side, though, let's get some intros done. Best of 5 series starts off with the red Zerg player. This is Dark. Takes on, in the bottom left, the blue Protoss player, ShoWTimE. Great series to start us off with. I love this one. I think this one's great. I think Dark ShoWTimE's are just a good match for one another, you know? It's one of those... to me, it's one of those series where I just feel as though ShoWTimE can be such that strong, stalwart defensive player. He can survive. He can see the game through to a later stage, while Dark is this aggressive, kind of do-it-all. Good in the late game, great in the late game, but even better at disrupting his opponents early. It will be interesting to see just how ShoWTimE tries to fend off some of that aggression of Dark throughout the course of this series. Again, best of 5. Everything is best of 5. Standard map pool. Just a lot of maps and tournament map pool that we've been playing with as of late. It's nothing too surprising, no crazy twists. This really is just a straight-up tournament. $2,500 for the players. They all play it kind of in one day as well. So there was a set day and time at which these matches would be played. They showed up, they played through until there was a winner. They sent in their replays, and here we are, casting them for you guys. And then obviously this goes up on Twitch on Christmas Day and on YouTube. This series will be on YouTube on Christmas Day, so if you're watching this on Christmas Day on YouTube, then again, happy Christmas. And we hope you enjoy. If you like the sound of this, we also have over the next few days Clem versus Hero and Gumiho versus Solar, Gun versus Max Packs, and the whole tournament just playing out. So that's going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to it. Like I say, I think it's going to be nothing but awesome. These games always are usually really good. These players really bring it for the Christmas Day games, so I'm super excited about that. You might be able to hear I just can't stop kind of just jammering on about how fun this is going to be. I really do think this is one of the better events we run in a year of StarCraft, so like I say, very excited. As a couple of Lings will come chasing down a probe out down into the middle of the map. So a little bit of damage being dealt here and there. There's a couple Lings around the left side. Importantly for ShoWTimE, he has roughly kept track of what is going on in these early stages. He roughly knows what's happening. He roughly knows what's being taken place. And he knows that, in general, he is not in any real danger here. He even finds these couple Lings on the left side. He's got another Adept at home as well. That's 2 Adepts going into Adept number 3 and into the Stargate as well. That's going to be our Stargate finishing up in the next couple of moments. So Stargate will be done. With this heavy Adept count, ShoWTimE is one of the players that has always been very good at being active with Adepts and Oracles as a combination. And using those to kind of actively deny creep spread, get on the map, create some pressure with these units in the early stages. This is the sort of stuff that ShoWTimE is very good at. He's been very, very good at it. And I remember the patch where the Revelation was changed, and we actually did like a balanced patch tournament, and he was one of the first, or one of the only ones during that to kind of get on the map, use the Oracles to Revelate, and just constantly be able to kind of find these kind of directions, find these little bits of information, and it was just so cool to watch that play. And like I said, ever since then, I feel like he's been a great player to watch in that regard. We have our Zerglings still hanging around, just going to be gathering up with the few Adepts nearby. The Adepts get through, no Oracle support here, but they're shading back, and they will be safe as they nab themselves 2 drones to start this off. So that's 2 workers going down immediately. Brilliant. Love to see that. So 2 drones dead, and that's a very good start. Now we do have the Lings coming across the map, quite a few of them made to deflect these Adepts. They're going to try and pressure. The Adepts have the choke point to utilize for the moment. There's the first Oracle as well, which is exactly what you want to be seeing, because now the Oracle can make sure that these Lings cannot commit to getting anything else done. So that's just a massive W as well. As these few Zerglings are going to go back towards the center of the map, relocating a little bit right now. Well, the 2 Oracles set up on the right side, we've yet to really see any activity from those. Obviously, we saw them kind of threatening the Lings. Maybe going to be needed now as the Lings get surrounded the Adepts. 5 Adepts, 1 falls fairly soon. What will the others be able to do? 2 Adepts now dead. We lose a 3rd. We cancel the shade. The Oracles show up. This really is a case of Just if the Oracles were a little closer, none of these Adepts would have died, and these Lings could have never made that play. So a little bit of a missed opportunity there by ShoWTimE. It could have just been a little bit cleaner there, right? He didn't necessarily need to lose all those Adepts, and that's Dark just capitalizing on an opportunity. He saw the chance, he saw the option to be like, hey, I can get in here, I can do some damage. Perfect, let's get in and let's do that right now. Now ShoWTimE, though, gets into this main base and finds himself 6 drones, so he's still finding damage for himself. ShoWTimE should be pretty happy with this. That's actually a pretty good deal. I mean, the more damage you get done right now, the more workers you kill off, the better. We still have a good amount of Adepts. A third Oracle showing up too, but the Queens at the front will be the deflection on those for the moment, so that will not go any further right now. We're still building through. We got ourselves a few more probes. The battery and everything continue to come up as well. Those few Adepts still chilling in the center. Just going to send one more well, not Revelation, but Shade forward. They're going to see a lot of Lings running around. Don't think that these Adepts are ever going to commit into that, as the Oracles are back into the backside of the natural once again, just going for a little bit extra. And once more, just finding some extra shots. Not actually getting any drones, and one of those Oracles low. I wonder if ShoWTimE has any issues here actually getting these Oracles out of here, because he's got one more Oracle out on the map as well. At some stage, triple Oracle together is nice, because then you can be a bit divey, a bit more committed. And yet at the moment, we're not really seeing that being an option for ShoWTimE, because how is he meant to get the third Oracle to these other two? It's a great question, and I don't know if he necessarily has an answer for it at the moment. As our Zerglings head to the bottom, they now get deflected. We see even more Zerglings continue to stream across the map. That's a lot of Lings heading to the bottom left-hand side. As drones, melee upgrade continue to come through, we are going to see these Adepts going to get jumped on. So here we go. This is the play from Dark. He feels like this is a moment to fight. He is going to start killing sentries. A few more Lings showing up to work through the Adepts. I don't know if I loved it, honestly. I mean, that was, what, a couple of Adepts and a sentry. One Oracle went down on the other side of the map, by the way. That low HP one did get found behind the mineral lines. I don't love it, right? I mean, that was a lot of Lings lost. Like I say, we cleaned out a few Adepts. One sentry goes down. A sentry, which I'm not sure is so important this stage in the game, right? As the game moves on, these armies get bigger. Sentries and forces can be very useful in certain scenarios, but this is one where I don't feel like we're absolutely prioritizing and having to hammer home the point of getting sentries out and doing something with those sentries as the Lings running down this left-hand side. See the Nexus, back away straight away. Not sticking around for that as the Spire, the Roach Roar, and the +2 melee upgrade all still continuing in. The Oracle comes in with a Revelation. You know, I feel like ShoWTimE's doing well for himself. His economy's very good. He's ahead in workers. He's doing a lot of things right now. Overall, supply-wise, isn't really a completely true story to tell, because Dog does have money banked because he's building that Spire. This Spire is going to be the option for Dog to give him something a little bit different here, so he should be looking to hold on to that and to try and do something with it fairly shortly. As the Lings move up here, those gateways going to get struck. Now the Lings turn it back around into the center once again. Bunch more cannons coming out, batteries as well. The Archons still sat at the front. Only Zerglings commit onto those Archons. No, they will not. They're just going to head back up the left-hand side instead. Still got charge, +2 on the way. Phoenix on the way out as well, because I think ShoWTimE has actually seen the Spire, has he? Where's the Spire chilling on the back of the third? No, he hasn't, but he's feeling it because he's building Phoenix. So I wonder if it's because it's just so Ling heavy for this long, and he just realizes, hey, if you're this Ling heavy, he saw gas on this base already. I think he's just kind of piecing together the puzzle to realize, okay, well, what can this mean? Why is this a thing? And he's realizing mutas are a very good possibility. And he's not wrong. 18, now 20 mutas all at once on the way. Having any amount of Phoenix available when these mutas first strike is going to give ShoWTimE a real glimmer of hope in being able to deal with this. So I'm a massive fan of what ShoWTimE is going into right now. That second Stargate, the Fleet Beacon coming up. He is making all the right calls to give himself the best possible shots. It's going to put him in a good position. It's by no means a guarantee. That's important to note as well. This is still a massive amount of mutas. Mutas can still be extremely aggressive units that can be extremely successful. So, like I say, don't take it for granted. These mutas may very well still kind of wreak havoc and just pull ShoWTimE apart. You can already see the attempts to break through on the right side. The gateway goes down there, but the units are there to meet this. For the moment, the mutas is being deflected nicely as well. I think ShoWTimE's controlling this game, guys. I mean, the first round of the mutas has not been any issue for him. His defense has been great. Doc has continued to donate units throughout this. We're now at 128 Zerglings lost. That was 57 before, and he's killed like 4 probes with mutas since then, and a Stalker. He just lost like 70 more Zerglings and gained nothing from it. And now ShoWTimE, with Zerglings kind of lacking on the map, has Zealots able to get across the other side. And this may not be a hat-trick kill right now, is going to bring that hatchery low, makes an easier target for later. The mutas have to pull back, go and deal with this warp prism. Anytime the mutas are doing this, is time in which the warp, is time in which the mutas are not harassing. It gives ShoWTimE even more preparation time, even more setup to be able to deal with those mutalisks. And you can see the Dog's realizing as well, this maybe ain't quite going his way, so he's going to get the Corruptors on the way too, knowing that those Corruptors are now more than likely going to be his only real solution. With Phoenix count getting higher and higher, the Corruptors can be a tanky force, right? The Corruptors can sit there, the Corruptors can tank, while the mutas actually get a chance to deal damage. That's the goal, that's what you're hoping to achieve with this at this stage. One gateway goes down, the Phoenix move forward, the Mutalisks will continue to take quite a few shots. We dance back and forth. Again, a couple more Phoenix still on the way out. The +1 air weapon's over, halfway done. We get into range one more time there. A couple more of those mutas getting shot away at. Well, like I said, it just doesn't feel like much is being done. One Phoenix has died, now we've killed 6 Mutalisks. There's a couple of Adepts this time on the left side. They will not go too far. The Zealots are found as well, so ShoWTimE is still just sending units on certain directions of the map, trying to find damage. Just not trying to go too quickly as Muta Corruptor continues to fly around the top. It's a lot of creep spread pushing out to the center of the map as well. Forward ray, +1 air weapons, +3 attack, flux veins, all continuing through. Muta Corruptor continues out as well. So many mutas around this right-hand side. Looking to try and make something happen. I mean, Doc is at the point where he might start getting desperate. You know, he might start having to make some kind of ballsy moves, which we might criticize, but it's at the stage now where if he doesn't do something, then what is he gaining? You know, right now you're just kind of flying around the map, and the Protoss army's getting better and better, and your army, it's still Muta Corruptor, right? It's still what it was a couple minutes ago. Just what do? The Phoenix absolutely going to dominate all of these mutas. The Corruptors clearly are not going to be able to tank and just not doing much at all here. They're going to turn and fight a little bit, but the Phoenix in good enough numbers to even chase down some Corruptors and feel good while doing so. That's the position ShoWTimE is in, and now he's marching across the map. He knows he just dismantled a bunch of the army. 15 new mutas. Dog is going to double down on mutas for the 3rd time in this game. I think he knows that he's in somewhat of a checkmate position. He can't really do much to escape from this. As you do see the couple Voids activate, and obviously they're going to be nice against the Corruptors as well. Stalkers and Archons will help out massively. Dark has no ground army, and ShoWTimE is going to open up this best of 5 with a 1-0 lead. Just very good call as to what was going on. Put himself in a good position, kept himself in a good defensive place, did not let his opponent do any real damage, and I wouldn't even say the initial damage from ShoWTimE was that outstanding. It wasn't like it was dealing damage like I mean, it was pretty good, right? The Oracles added up a few kills. I think the main thing was those Lings just constantly trading out and finding nothing at all. And then, comboed with that, the Mutas finding nothing at all. Dog just played a game where everything he tried to do was completely ineffective. And in a game where everything is completely ineffective, you ain't gonna have a good time. So, GG's, and that is game number 1. Going the way of ShoWTimE, our German Protoss opens up 1-0 against West Central, or the other way around with Rest being first and last. Either way, let's see if it has any impact here. Going into a game number 2, in the bottom right-hand corner, the red Zerg player from Dragon Kaiser Gaming. Down a game, looking to bring it back is Dark. Dark battles against the blue Protoss in the top left corner of the map, ShoWTimE. Alright then, game number 2. We saw that probe coming across the map fairly early, no real surprise about that. Obviously gets the block off on this natural location, and then the hatchery on the top side will be taken instead, so Doc will take his 3rd location. ShoWTimE will be happy about that, and he is going to prioritize checking the 3rd locations before he moves into Scout, by the way. So yeah, checks that left side base. Now he's going to check the right side base. So he's not going to check the main. He would rather know that for sure there's a hatchery on this side of the map than see what's happening in the main. Because Dark's a tricksy player. You know, if you move in the main base and you see the pool at a hatch first time, I mean, that's all well and good. But does that actually mean he built a hatchery on his side of the map? What if he's proxying you? That's the kind of stuff that Dark will bring out in a series. And I think that's why it's good to see ShoWTimE is very just aware of, like, okay, I need to make sure you're not going to be able to pull a fast one on me. I need to make sure you're not just going to be able to pull out ahead and, you know, trick me or anything like that, because Those are the ways you lose against Dog. That's how you have a frustrating time. You play a great defensive first game. You make some great calls against the Mutas. You prep the Phoenix perfectly. You know, everything about it was good. And then if you lose game 2 in 2 minutes because you didn't scout the proxy hatch soon enough, you can't respond in time, etc., that stuff is so frustrating. So good to see ShoWTimE is absolutely playing diligently and just approaching this series with the care that you need to. Again, when you play against someone like Dark, there's absolutely no shame in playing it the safe and safe, calm, and collected manner. No issue with that at all. As that Strong gets back over here. Obviously not much to be talking about from Dark's side of things just yet. His game starts off with link speed. He will get a few lings. He will get some queens. He's not doing anything crazy. So for him, he's just playing through his build order for the first 2.5 minutes of Site Delta. Now a second game of the day in the WardiTV Christmas Day Games. Very exciting. I've been looking forward to casting these games for a little while. Like I say, I was a little bit sick recently. If you watch my streams throughout December, you probably knew I was quite sick for a while. And I've really just not been able to stream or cast as much as I want. And I've just been trying to make sure I'm still not quite 100%, but I've been trying to get as better as I can before casting these because I want to bring as much energy and, you know, not have to pause to sniffle and whatever throughout. So super excited to finally get to cast some of this and dive into some of these games. It's just really, really fun. As we do have a couple of adepts joining together, and they will go advancing down to the bottom right-hand side of the map, where they're going to move on through. 10 more lings on the way up. Ling speed's being built. 26 drones from Dogs. It's not like this is some kind of like low drone count ling flood. This is very much so just lings to deal with the fact that we are currently building adepts, and those adepts are currently coming across the map to see what's going on. Lings there. Actually get a little wraparound on the adept. Now another drone goes down. Lings surround again. The adept will fall. So that is a cleanup. That's a good one from Dark. I mean, 2 drones and a little drone pull. You clean out the 2 adepts. It was fairly early on those drone kills. I think ShoWTimE's okay with it. I think Dark's okay with it. Dark did get the cleanup. He can now take map control. He can get across with these lings and do things himself. Check if the 3rd base is coming down, for example. And that's a lair from Dark straight away here as well. So wonder if he has other plans too coming beyond this. He saw the Oracle at the front. He knows what this style is. He's actually going to catch the adepts again. I wonder if, because ShoWTimE now feels the need to keep this Oracle at home defensively for a bit longer, and he won't be able to scout as quickly, I wonder if Dark could maybe prong up some kind of an attack with this faster lair. I mean, he's droning at the moment. He's not spamming units. But this is still only 1 gas. With the lair finishing, what are we going to do? To me, this screams Link Queen Nidus. Right? I mean, drop a Nidus network, get Link Queen across the other side, and just try and kill a ShoWTimE who's now lost a lot of adepts, a lot of early game units, essentially. So, yeah. Can we punish him? Let's find out. Is there anything that can be done about it? Oracle deflects. We have the lair finishing very soon, so we are going to very soon know exactly what is going on. So definitely seeing some progress made. These few lings move around. There it is. The Nidus network is on the way down, so we see exactly what's coming up. It is going to be Link Queen Nidus time. I think it just screams that the lair timing was a little bit odd. ShoWTimE sees the lair. I mean, he gets in this main base. He did not see the Nidus, but he saw the lair, so you know that that's finished. You've got to know that surely this is a possibility. You're playing against Dark. You know, Dark absolutely loves these aggressive sort of styles. So, yeah, I feel like you've got to be aware of a possibility of this, right? And, well, I guess we'll see as we have a couple of probes continuing around. There's the Nidus in the main base. That's where Dark is going to try and dive. The probes pull in, the Oracle activates. A lot of lings still streaming across the map. Adepts that are out in the open getting surrounded. This is not looking good for ShoWTimE. He does deny the Nidus, however, but I'm just straight up worried about the units at the front. He's lost so many adepts. The Oracles have had to activate Oracle energy throughout, so they don't exactly have energy stacked up or anything right now either. Oracles do get rid of 1 more Nidus, however, so ShoWTimE continues to clean up. There's another Nidus coming into the main base. Probes will pull towards this one. We are getting to the point where Oracles cannot really have energy to keep on defending. Lings come to the front again. Again, a Stalker or 2 maybe open. Oh no! The gap in the wall off on the natural, and that's where Dark is going to strike. That's where he's going to capitalize into the natural, into the main base. The Queens did come out of the Nidus over here at the same time, so while the Nidus fell, it was not soon enough to stop the Queens, and now a new Nidus will guaranteed get up because the Lings, if nothing else, will deflect. They will stop anything from denying extra Niduses. Here's Nidus coming up into the main. The Stalker, the Adepts being surrounded. 9 probes have gone down. Nidus in the natural as well, so we're going to have mobility between the locations. We already see that some Lings are getting rid of the battery down here in ShoWTimE. He just wasn't quite ready for this, and he did start to more or less kind of slowly. Yeah, he did. He did kind of just almost deny enough Nidus to maybe make it work. I wonder what it would have looked like if this wall in the natural had stayed up, right? You know, I wonder what it would have looked like, because then I wonder if actually with denying the Nidus in the main base long enough and this not becoming an issue, if maybe he would have been alright. Yeah. GG's. GG's, that is going to be Dark taking game number 2. And that's how this series gets all top right-hand side. The red Zerg player, this is Dark. He brought it back to 1-1. Can he keep it going? Or is ShoWTimE going to find himself back in this series? Our blue Protoss bottom left corner of the map. Here on Solaris, I mean, this to me is the kind of map Dark should love. It's a fun map where there's lots of acceleration zones. It's speedy to get across the other side. Aggression definitely hits a bit different on this map as well, that's for sure. I don't know, something about Solaris kind of has me believing that we could see something pretty cool coming down on this one as the probe does work its way over toward the natural expansion. Into the natural we go, patrolling around. There is the drone on the top side from Dark on a bit of a move about as well. Just going to end up coming around the left, down the left, and into the bottom side. Again, Gateway and the Assimilator continuing up. There is the hatchery build. So we are going to see a proxy hatchery from Dark. Obviously, it's a sneaky direction with this drone. It is indeed going to get up to something, as you can see ShoWTimE. He blocks, and this time he doesn't go to check the third locations. He goes into the main straight away. So into the main base. This drone pulls back. What are we doing, ShoWTimE? Dark? Are we going to go drop a... We are going to drop the gas in the pool. So I was just wondering if we're going to drop a third hatch. ShoWTimE in a moment. Okay, he's going to use this drone to make the pool. I wonder if ShoWTimE figures it out via that. Again, he has not confirmed that third hatchery as he did so carefully in the previous game. We even talked about it, brought it up. That was something I liked him doing because it's the kind of thing that Dark will do. He will proxy you. He has no fear of playing a quick, dirty, cheeky game. He's very comfortable in those situations. So you got to be ready for this stuff. As ShoWTimE currently is, I mean, he's just clueless, right? He does not know at all. He has no information, no vision. This could be really bad for him. This could be Dark just turning on the aggression jets and just flying straight through to 2-1 lead off of some very quick aggression in both the last 2 games. I mean, obviously we're not done yet. The hatchery is only just now finishing. There's a couple of drones going to show up, though. I mean, this is a committed Spinecrawler-based rush, so we are sending it here as Dark. Spinecrawler 1, 2, and 3. 3 will indeed come down. And we are going to try and break through the front. ShoWTimE knows it now. He sees the creep spread with the cybernetics core, so now he's aware what response does he opt for. Robo, the very popular one, and it's exactly what he puts down. Robo into the main base is going to be the immediate choice here, so gets that going straight away. Bling's getting in as well, just going to find a little bit more info there, see a bit more of what's going on. I'm just going to be seeing them both getting cleaned out by the Adept. Obviously, just being annoying, though, and giving you a chance to kind of get this set up at the front. Really, I think ShoWTimE's going to give up the low ground. He's not building warp gates. He's got no fear in losing the Cybercore in terms of warp gate being cancelled. The Robo's coming up in the main. I don't hate the choice. He was clearly unprepared against this. He clearly did not know what was going on, so deciding just to play into the main base instead is perhaps the most responsible choice you can make. We'll see if he can eventually defend there. We'll see if this timing becomes enough for him as the Stalker and the Adept together. They'll poke around, prod around, and see if there's anything more that they can do. Spine's firing, Gateway's taking damage, Pylon as well. The Lings will get onto that Nexus, and they will continue to chip through that Nexus, so Nexus going down next couple of moments. Again, a couple of gates, and the Cybercore, the Immortal will come finishing up. Now we can push towards the main. This is where you can already see ShoWTimE prepping as we move ourselves into this mineral line with the choke points and everything, so trying to keep himself in a nice safe place in that regard. Certainly he's thinking about maybe making a little bit of a dive on top of those units should the opportunity arise. We will see what his decision becomes. Spines are slowly pushing forward. I mean, it's tough to dive into this, right? It's funny as well, because the Immortal doesn't really kind of, you know, deal good damage to Lings, but it's very tanky in itself, so it's a very important role to play in this overall battle, because you need that Immortal, you need that ability to kind of defend here, otherwise, yeah, you're going to have a bad time, honestly. So this is something you've got to be very, very aware of. Twilight Council now coming up as well. A couple sentries continue to come through too. These Lings obviously, again, just looking to see if there's any opportunity to move forward. Back at home, Dark does have a hatchery. He has got drones saturated, so he's starting to get to the point where his economy is in place to kind of play this game out further if he wants to. Besides, also absolutely becoming, like I say, a possibility right now. As the few Lings and the Spine Crawls gather up at the front, the rest of these drones back away. Another hatchery going to go down on the low ground. And yeah, for the moment, it looks like ShoWTimE will hold. But of course, you're holding on one base against a Zerg that's now already up to 2. Time is not in your favor here, right? Time is absolutely looking better and better for Dark, because he can just sit here. He doesn't need to press the issue anymore. He never had to make that dive or that jump or that surround in the bad position. He never had to commit to anything of the sort. So, yeah, Dark's going to sit here and be pretty darn content about this. Resonating Gravestone up on the Twilight Council, the Baneling Nest on the back of the Natural. Oh, yeah, I mean, we can threaten with these Lings. We can stay nearby. And if ShoWTimE tries to break out, which at some point he probably does need to, then yeah, you can make a dive as Dog. Maybe that's where you stand your ground. I guess ShoWTimE, considering he's building glaives, I think he might just send it on kind of one base in the end. He might not have much option anyway. A couple of Immortals to buffer, and then the Adepts just to try and power through. That's why the Banes are going to be great. Being able to knock down a lot of those Adepts is a pretty big deal. There's a couple of Adepts. Extra will just warp in. So yeah, Bane's just going to be able to force those Adepts around. I think will go a long way. Immortals trying to utilize their range, knock down one creep tumor. Anything you can take out before you actually have to fight these Spines. As we get down here now, a few Lings were, well, there's a lot more Lings over to the right. I was going to say only a few were really kind of nearby to respond immediately. As ShoWTimE breaks out of this, and he will start to clean up that creep. He needs to go back and get these creep tumors, otherwise he'll never get his natural, although maybe again his natural is not on his mind. Going across the map is, including killing this hatchery, make sure no reinforcements come out of this location. I think is actually a very responsible decision from ShoWTimE. He's clearing out some of the creep around. I mean, it feels crazy not to clear the creep to at least give you the option of expanding as time passes by, because at some stage you've got to feel as though maybe you can get across 2 damage, but then you can't end the game. Then it's amazing to be able to actually take your expansion rather than just being stuck without it. One creep team is still being cleaned up. Here come these Lings running in. The Adepts, they'll be able to keep on firing onto those Zerglings. Force field going down. Couple force fields going down. Stormer's going to lift up, drop back down. We go up and down. For the moment, a lot of Lings still getting pushed around. It is now ShoWTimE to take a few more steps out from the Natural and into the middle of the map once more. Hope still chilling over there. Let's just have Lingbane continuing through. The army of ShoWTimE is on the move across to the upper sides. We'll knock down one creep team already. Force fields come in. Just going to be seeing these Lings setting up. A couple Banes are going to come down. Going to be seeing the army from ShoWTimE able to kite backwards so far. Actually, still doing pretty okay for himself, honestly. Still looks fairly reasonable. 20 new Lings on the way. 3 more sentries producing. This army of ShoWTimE continues through the center. The Overlord will take a few more shots. We'll be going down. Another force field. We've got another one available too. Did you keep the Banes away and some of the Lings getting caught trying to go back through the other side? The Adepts commit! So they're going to shade on through. They are going to try and send it over here. Moving up to this high ground. The problem is now the Banes are catching. You're going to have to start splitting and spreading. That means the Lings get better surrounds. That means the Adepts don't last as long. I'm not sure that was really it. You kind of essentially just traded with Lings, which is not really everything that you're looking for here, right? I mean, you're usually looking for something a lot better than that. Yeah, not sure that was necessarily what you were looking for at all as ShoWTimE. I feel like you wanted more than what you've gotten so far. I think Dark's going to be very happy about this situation as well, right? Because he's just sitting here loving his life. It's been defense, defense, and now ShoWTimE doesn't really have that scary of an army anymore, right? So Yeah, I mean, this feels as though it just gets better and better for Dog, given a bit of time. A couple of Banelands going to try and close the gap. They got through. The Immortal and Stalker kind of absorbed them, though. That could have been a whole lot worse. Now one Queen at the front, going to take a little bit more damage. I mean, still using the force fields nicely as ShoWTimE. Remember, he's on completely one base. He's had to warp in back at home due to some Lings counterattacking as well. But I mean, at least he did get a warp in off. Otherwise, that could have been a whole lot worse. Mortals and everything continue to come by. Just going to be seeing a few Queens getting shoved away as well. Pylon finishing up here even from ShoWTimE with a couple of those batteries just to give him a little bit of extra healing just to try and keep this army going. That's how, you know, he is full committed here. He's fully sending it. There is no two ways about it for ShoWTimE. And there's another couple of Banes trying to move forward once again. Unable to really kind of reach at all. I mean, again, force fields, and even those batteries are now providing a little bit of a wall off that ShoWTimE can utilize in his defense. So ShoWTimE doing very well with that for sure. The Lings gave up on the other side of the map, realizing the opportunity wasn't really there to get much more done. And still try and just push through where we can. This army comes forward again. The Lings trying to come around. Just going to be seeing the Stalkers, Sentries, Adepts, the Immortals. Can they do enough? Can they actually push onto this base? I mean, denying the third, Dark would still be up the base even if this location goes down. Again, that's the power of his position right now. Actually does indeed fall. Army supplies are still similar, which you could argue is maybe going to be enough for ShoWTimE to stay competitive in this game. So, I mean, for the moment, he is still staying fairly competitive in this game. He's just taken out a base. He's given himself a chance. He's playing into what he feels like is his best possible situation, which I think he's genuinely doing a good job of it, honestly. I can't really complain. He's absolutely giving you a game here. We did lose a few probes. Apologies. That one going down, so a little bit of action on that. Let's just have army sitting on the edge of creep right here. Keep on pressing forward, and I mean, at some point you've got to dive deeper, right? And that's kind of this move. I love the Ravages being able to dial down these few force fields are really a big deal. Adept's going to shade by through the natural up in toward the main base. So, well, it looked as though they were going to go onto that ramp. In the end, they do not. The rest of this army now backing away down to the south. Lings, Overlords all building. A few Corrosive Vials land on absolutely nothing right there as well. So nothing gained on that one. Couple Banelings. Not going to connect. I mean, I love the force fields from ShoWTimE. He's been very meticulous about his engagements here. Really taking great care to just give him the best possible chance. He's found efficiency. 2,500 resources lost difference in his favor, but in the end, Dark had too much of an economy throughout this. ShoWTimE was mining out of the main, so he was forced to make a bit more of an aggressive move as well. It just wasn't time. By the time he slowly picks through this base as he did before, if he wants to play it more slowly, then Dark just re-expands here, right? That's the issue, and that's why ShoWTimE always is at a problem, because he's not improving back at home behind this. It's not like ShoWTimE is about to hit some magical position where it's like, oh, yep, okay, right, now we've got that set up at home, because he's not been in any sort of way, shape, or position to expand. If he wanted to try, the Lings have been out on the map as well to play the denial game as well, so it's just not been happening. And it does feel as though Dark, I mean, he got ahead very much so at the early start. I mean, I think ShoWTimE made the right call. But unfortunately, just letting your low ground die is a big problem, because you saw the issue. It took him so long to bust out of the low ground, or bust into the low ground again. Dog was so well set up at home during that, and I think that's the issue for ShoWTimE that came around in the end. GG's. And it's a 2-1 scoreline in favor of Dark. YouTube channel and click the subscribe button, youtube.com/WardiTV. If you're in the Twitch chat, you can type !YT to get there via the Wardy bot. And yeah, just go give a video a like, or go give the channel a subscription on YouTube. This is what this money was from, actually, originally. We turned what was the YouTube-only tournament into the Christmas Day Games, and then we still use it as like a sale, like I explained before. We still send a lot of the, all the Christmas Day Games stuff. Well, every series will go onto YouTube over the next few days, so that will still happen. So yeah, check out the YouTube channel. TLDR is what I'm saying. It's appreciated if you do. We're going to check out this ZvP game number 4. Let's see if it's going to close out here. Let's see if we get our first game 5 of the day. Top left-hand side with the pool already well along. It is going to be Dark in the top left corner of Hard Lead. He takes on the blue Protoss in the bottom right side. This is ShoWTimE. Well, ShoWTimE is going to scout, and again, his scout in the early game has been a mixture of successes, right? Because I feel like in the first game, in the first couple of games, I liked what he was scouting and so on. That third game, he really did not check about the idea of a proxy hatch soon enough. This time, he's going to go back down the low ground, and obviously this is that early pool, so now he already knows he's getting a second gate on the way. ShoWTimE's response begins to build back at home. However, Dark has just put a hatchery down over here as well. The idea of this is it blocks the wall off, so you can't fully wall as ShoWTimE. This gives Dark some control. If he lets it finish, he can build lings off of it. If he just cancels it, there will be a gap in the wall, which is obviously part of the problem as well. So, a lot of ways to kind of look at things right here. It's definitely a fun way for things to begin. As the Zealot with those pros will be swiping, and now the lings can go fight the gateway because the Zealot wants to continue to hit this hatchery, stop it from getting up, which means that the lings can actually make some progress here as well. Onto the gateway. So a bit of damage done. Now the lings trying to reposition a little bit, protecting this hatchery wherever they can. Hatchery now cancels. The drone is being used as a part of the damage dealing. Let's just have a few probes trying to pull through. A couple probes go down pretty quickly. Lings still surrounding the Zealot at the front here. In fact, a couple of Zealots in some trouble. Zealot 1 goes down. Zealot number 2 going to be chased a little bit. Oh my god, we're going to lose that Zealot as well. That's such a shame because so much of the time, the strong part of this on the follow-up here, from a Protoss perspective, is being able to go across the map on the follow-up, right? Now you're losing that opportunity, or some of that opportunity, because you don't have the 2 Zealots to go across the map with. You will still have an Adept count, so there's something to be said there. As this Adept cleans up those lings and now heads out into the center through the middle of the map, heading towards the upper left-hand side. A couple more Adepts on the way. The Warp Gate's still building through. Dark now expanding. Still down 7 workers or so at this point in time. Both Adepts move to the top. 2 Queens, the few Lings, the Overlord all coming out. We recall 1 Adept back home because some Lings are here. Oh, that's annoying because now you've got those Lings just nibbling at that pylon. If that pylon goes down, it's such a pain in the butt. A couple of Adepts continue through, threaten on the other side. But yeah, pylon goes down, Warp Gate delayed, Gateway's depowered. This is not fun for ShoWTimE. This is really not fun. As he drops a Stargate, that's his tech in the main base, but you know what, to be fair, ShoWTimE is up 10 workers. I feel like he's probably not too upset with the situation, but a move like that just gives Dark a little bit more leeway. It gives Dark a bit more time where he can prep and drone before he potentially comes under attack. So those are important moments. Those are very important moments, in fact, as the Adepts continue southward. Our Overlord of Dark continues over the natural into the main base. Stargate is about to finish. The first Void Ray is already on the way. And again, 6 additional drones, 8 additional drones are in progress. Creep tumors abound as well, getting a lot of creep pushed out onto the map. And these probes just continue to move down onto the natural as well as just getting that set up right here. ShoWTimE is establishing full 2-base economy. Dark is getting ready to put his 3rd down. And still a benefit for ShoWTimE is that Dark has obviously had that much later 3rd base. You know, everything that Dark is doing is delayed based on his opening. So it's just a question of, is what ShoWTimE doing kind of delayed as well, or is he still kind of alright? I kind of like the Void in this situation because A, you're going to deny scouting, and B, Dark's already in a bit of a weird spot. Now, if he was going to go something very aggressive, the Void Ray may be able to hold that. But also ShoWTimE now going Twilight Council. I just like it all around. Because the Twilight Council could be very good if Dark builds some kind of Ling-based style. And then the Void Ray is very good if Dark tries to be aggressive off Roaches. I feel like this gives ShoWTimE a pretty good opportunity to maybe get something done. Because Dark's also playing out of that weird low economy position, maybe he can't actually get enough answers to the Adepts in time as well. Yeah, I kind of like the concept from ShoWTimE. We'll see how it pans out. We'll see if Dark can get the defenses up against the incoming Glaives. Meanwhile, the first Oracle is now out and will come up this right-hand side again. Dark blind in terms of Overlords. He does have a single Zergling currently looking to make a little play on this bottom side. Even just scouting with this Zergling would be amazing, of course. Information still very important. In these early stages, again, Resonating Glaives continues up. Next is on the way, a couple probes on the way out. The Adepts continue to produce through. Voidray makes its way out down to the south, so away we go. And the Adepts again. Dark's information has been limited. His preparation right now, he's got 15 Lings on the map against 10 Glaved Adepts. Well, let's see how ShoWTimE controls this, because this should be a great opportunity for him. Let's see if he gets aggressive enough. 2 Spines start immediately from Dark as he saw these Adepts step onto creep, so he's realizing, uh-oh, this ain't good. A couple drones out of position there straight away. The Oracle Revelation gets, Stasis Ward gets denied. We're going to kill 9 drones immediately. One of the Spines will get cancelled as well. And now we're going to shade into the main base. These Lings don't have Ling speed, guys. These Lings are such a sad excuse for defense. They really are not meant to cut it right now, and they are not cutting it either. You can see these Lings just going down. ShoWTimE dealing some mega damage. 13, 14, 15 workers going down. We continue to hunt. The Lings getting surrounds. A few more Adepts going down. 16 workers killed. Looking for 17. Gonna find 18 perhaps right here. ShoWTimE with incredible damage here in this game number 4. I actually haven't set the score. I've been so into this one apparently. Apologies, guys. Unfortunately for you guys, this is a pre-recording, so you can't tell me in the Twitch chat to fix it. Well, you probably complained for the last 7 minutes. I'll pretend it was you guys in Twitch chat that made me realize the score. Voidray and a couple more Adepts still going. ShoWTimE looking to bring himself back into this series and to take us to a game 5. 59 probes to 38 drones, 62 probes. I mean, Dog is doing nothing but droning, so he's going to try and bring it back in the macro kind of, you know, macro it up game, get the drones up once again game, but I mean, brave choice. I'm not sure if you can really match a Protoss that's that far ahead, and he's already well on the way to blink and +1. He's well on his way to further pressure and further aggression that will only help him the deeper this game goes. Extra gates coming up, the blink on the way, 7 drones are producing as well. The lair is also about to finish, Evo Chamber 2. All those extra gates coming by, Robo Facility over halfway done for the moment. This Voidray makes its way over to the left, join up with the rest of these Stalkers. The Oracle also still overhead is going to go join those Stalkers and a little bit of a venture out onto the map, moving up through the center here. Again, charge and +1 on the way, the extra gates and the Nexus coming through. Robo Facility not far from finishing. Drop a Revelation down, allowing these Stalkers to chip their way through a whole bunch of this creep spread as well. And even going to meet up a little bit right there with a few of those Queens. Well, +1 missiles, Link speed on the way. Stalkers again will continue to harass. You would imagine that this is going to be ShoWTimE. He's going to start getting to a very, very good position. Because again, I mean, he's already in a very good position, but he should be able to just apply pressure in such a big way. He should really be able to get a lot out of this. Stalkers just clean up the watchtower. And can Dog actually provide a defense? He's done a good job in catching back up on workers, but he's playing a less kind of powerful army. He's playing low-tech Ling Roach, which doesn't even have Ling speed right now. No, not even +1 missiles. No Roach speed. You know, he's playing a horrible situation, quite frankly, as Dark. The only thing I will say is that Dark is perhaps one of the very best at playing from weird situations and from low economy scrappy games. I love this from ShoWTimE, though. He's getting a little bit more aggressive than you might expect ShoWTimE to be, and I love that because he's in the sort of situation where he can get away with these moves. That's not a typical ShoWTimE move. That's not something he's going to do the majority of games. But in this case, I think it's absolutely justified, and I think it's a great realization of just where he's at right now in this game 4, and just trying to press this advantage forwards into as much of a lead as he possibly can. 7 more Roaches still coming up. Link speed +1 missiles, Groove Spines continue to come in as well. And you got Zealots now charging from the left-hand side through some Lings into some Queens. Zealots maybe not doing too much. At the same time, the Stalkers trying to fight on the other side are not going to be able to do too much either. kind of run into a bunch of lings is not exactly ideal, right? That's not really what you want to be doing with the store, because it was kind of the wrong units in the wrong places there for ShoWTimE, unfortunately. Stalkers keep moving about, a couple batteries still coming in. And ShoWTimE has not messed around in terms of getting his setup established during all of this. 4 base, 5 base, now all coming into play. Creep Spread is still pushing down the right side, and the Hydra is now coming up from Dark, means he's eligible to go into the Lurker play as well, so that looks as though it's going to be part of his plan. So that Lurker Den, the Hive, both coming up. Again, plenty of Stalkers work their way around and over to the right-hand side for the moment. Zealots coming through. Watchtower being taken. And just going to see those Stalkers still picking up a little bit more creep spread. Hydras and Lings on the way through. The Hive and the Lurker Den all building. The Stalkers will continue to go through, and they will pick off that creep teamer at the front as well. There's another creep teamer going down. We now make our way into the center where some rocks will be in trouble. We see the single Ling caught in a stasis ward as well. The game settles, and what do we want to see here from ShoWTimE? I mean, he's on his way to Colossus. I would actually like to just see Disruptors. I feel like Disruptors are going to be great against the Lurkers too. Dark with Hive up. Obviously, Vipers are going to become a main part of his agenda. The Lurkers are one thing, and right now he's not rich enough to avoid Vipers, but Vipers will give him a very free kind of, answer as well. I like this from Dark. Catching the units on the low ground, and ShoWTimE blinks down the ramp. Or down from the main base. He's going to get caught a little bit in this play. Now eating Corrosive Vials too is actually going to cost ShoWTimE a lot. It might even cost him a Colossus. Dark gets some damage onto that, but can't justify sticking around. Now going to be on the move away. Still doesn't even have Roach speed. Again, Dark finding a great situation for himself out of what should have been a terrible start. He now loses 11 drones, but the Lurkers and Hydras at least clean up those Zealots somewhat quickly. Blinking forward, ShoWTimE is making very aggressive plays, maybe arguably playing more aggressively than he really needs to. 7 more Lurkers coming through. The Stalker's still sat over on the sides. And ShoWTimE making some kind of crazy... I liked what he was doing earlier. Some of the more aggressive plays early on were very strong, but this one, for the last couple, have maybe felt a little bit more desperate. Army still gathers in the center. Robo Facility, Templar Archives coming up. Hydras and Lings still coming out. Chrono Boost on the Forges. We are going to work our way up the right side. Zealots charge forward. Stalkers and Colossi to follow. Lurkers firing up. A few more shots coming out. We are going to be seeing the Spinecrawler taking a little bit more damage. We'll be seeing our cannons coming around over on the far right-hand side. That's 5 cannons coming up. Templar Archives still coming through. 7 Hydras, Seismic Spines. Nope. Adaptive Talons. The other Lurker upgrade, my goodness. Just going through all the upgrade names. We're going to go from Hydra range to Lurker range to then actual, what the upgrade I'm trying to talk about is, Lurker speed. Knocking down some rocks. I mean, Dark is still playing, in my eyes, a dangerous game because he doesn't have Vipers. He's been not rich, so I can understand it, but Vipers have got to be the next thing on his shopping list, right? Surely this is what you pick up next to upgrade this army to take it to another level. It may not be super necessary right now, because to be fair, there's no major kind of key unit you want to be kind of abducted in specifically. There's not like a there's one Colossus, that's not an issue. There's not like Disruptors you could abduct in during this. I mean, it's just the thing that no matter what, Abducts and Vipers in general would be very good. ShoWTimE realizing he's not quite set to deal with Lurkers. He's trying to build a lot of Immortals, but I'm worried he doesn't have the kind of the bang and the oomph power. That's something like I said a couple of times now, Disruptors might have given him. Trying to Lurker chases the rest of those units of ShoWTimE away to the right side. Super Rudolines pop out. Pretty much dead already. And that's going to be seeing those Lurkers burning up on the bottom side. Hydras are going to come pressing forward. We're going to go break our way into this base. I mean, this base trade really is just committing into play. ShoWTimE on one side, Dark on the other. ShoWTimE has good 2-2 upgrades in play. That might help him out a lot. With the Lings coming around, the Darkon gets chased away. Plenty of units from Dark streaming into the natural, streaming into the main base. Wow, we really are just full-on base trade mode. A few drones trying to escape away. Obviously, keeping some workers alive. Very important in a base trade to build additional structures towards the end of it. ShoWTimE has this base with a lot of cannons on. He's taking lurk damage from the high ground, however. Already Lurkers over here as well, working their way through some probes. Again, any work you get rid of is generally good, as ShoWTimE is afraid of pushing into the natural, which means that Dark will keep his natural base alive. Top right should go down. There's no defense there. ShoWTimE would rather try and fight the army on the bottom. Can Dark get the army from the top of the map to come to the south? If he can make the army from the top come to the south, he might be able to wrap around this force of ShoWTimE, and that might be a really good fight for him. No, ShoWTimE detection. What detection is left? One observer, and it is here. Lurkers will go down, but that's something to note that there's only one observer currently. ShoWTimE losing a lot of his production, does not now have any other way. Oh no, he's got a robe over here, but it's depowered. He doesn't really have much of a way to provide detection outside of cannons, so he can't build new observers if the one that's alive goes down. It'll probably be quite tough to lose that one observer to the army of Dark. As Dark just triple expands on the back of this. He's like, cool, base trade's done. Time for me to get my bases back. So he's going to waste absolutely no time in that. We'll just continue to fire up more army into the center here. We do have the single lurker still chilling on the 6 o'clock. Just poking its way through that assimilator. Extra hatcheries are on the way. The drones are building. The Nidus is not far from being done. I kind of like the Nidus, right? In a game that's going to become kind of a bit spread out, but all over the place. I mean, even just in this case, right? Evacuating these units from the main so they actually can get away. Suddenly Dark has all of his army joined back up together to the top left of the map, so you are suddenly able to just take a full-on army fight again. And Dark's about to be back up to 5 bases. ShoWTimE never made it in the main, so he never took down any of the critical tech structures to really stop Dark rebuilding with, you know, I mean, I just think ShoWTimE has actually lost this. Man, ShoWTimE was so ahead in the early stages. The Resonating Glaive to depths got so much work done. And yet here we are genuinely, I think, on the verge of, I think we're genuinely on the verge of, ShoWTimE not winning this, because his army, I'm not sure it's really made for fighting into a massive lurkers is the problem. Not sure it can fight into a massive lurkers at all. Army still moves up. Archon Zealots, Colossi coming by. A couple of spores will relocate. The army continues to pull down to the south. They're just going to get themselves back onto the Nexus. Twilight Council Gateway all building up. We continue to just get ourselves the few spores on the way, the +1 carapace, Twilight Council, all of our pylons set up as well. Lurker's going to burrow up first. Lurker goes down immediately. Archon's pressing forwards. Guard is going to be seeing those Zealots still charging through. Blind Cloud going down. First Colossus, second Colossus getting abducted. Big fight breaking out then, so here we go. It's not going to be enough from ShoWTimE. It's going to be everything that Dark wanted it to be, and he is going to be able to take himself to a 3-1 victory. Dark bringing it back from not just a 1-0 deficit in the series, but this final game. He was dead, man. And ShoWTimE, you know, it was just, I loved it when he blinked in the main the first time. But the times after, it really felt like he was then not getting damage, and then Dark found good fights while attacking behind it. ShoWTimE was not ready for lurkers when they came up, which I think is the issue, is that ShoWTimE was putting so much pressure on without attacking. That's fine if you keep your opponent pinned back, but he did not keep his opponent pinned back at all, right? And then not keeping his opponent pinned back and kind of slowed down, Dark really just kind of outsped him in this game in the end. GG's. That is going to be it. Our first series, Dark 3-1 against ShoWTimE. He moves on to the semi-finals of the competition. Dark